Hey there, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
Today we're stepping into the vibrant, complex world of Rudyard Kipling's classic novel, Kim. We're looking specifically at excerpts that trace some really pivotal early moments in the boy's journey.
Yeah, we've got a stack of observations pulled right from the text. They show Kim, navigating the streets of Lahore, joining up with this fascinating spiritual seeker, and also brushing against the edges of something much larger, more secretive.
That's right. So our mission for this deep dive, it's really to look closely at these key encounters, these developments, to really dig into what they reveal about Kim himself, the people he meets, and, well, the layered reality of British India that he moves through. We're looking for those surprising facts, the insights that stick.
Exactly. Think of it as understanding how Kim's early life on the road, which seems simple on the surface, is actually preparing him for something quite extraordinary.
All right, let's unpack this then. And we start right there in the Wonder House, the museum, in Lahore. What immediately jumps out about Kim here?
Well, Kim's confidence in this place is remarkable. He's totally street smart. You see him guiding these other people who are clearly intimidated by the sahibs or, wary of idolaters inside.
Right, like Abdullah and Totalal whispering nervously.
Yeah, but Kim just laughs it off, breezes through the turnstile. He's completely at ease in this space, this kind of melting pot of worlds.
And it's right there, isn't it, in the entrance hall, surrounded by these ancient Greco-Buddhist figures, that he meets the old Lama. What's so striking about this meeting?
Well, what's fascinating is the Lama's reaction to the art. He instantly recognizes the Buddhist stories being shown. The teaching in the deer park, the miraculous birth, the death at Kusanagra, all that.
He knows the content.
Exactly. But he's genuinely puzzled, even sort of delighted, by the Greek conventions and the carving style. It just shows how different traditions merged over centuries there,
Right.
And the Lama, even though he's focused on his spiritual path, he has this deep knowledge and curiosity about the history of his faith.
The curator, the guy with the white beard Kim mentions, she picks up on this too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He sees straight away that the Lama isn't just, some random holy man wandering in.
He's a scholar of parts.
Exactly, a scholar. Their conversations, switching fast between Urdu and Tibetan, it just highlights all these layers of knowledge happening beneath the surface.
And the Lama knows about the old Chinese pilgrims too.
Oh, yeah, Fo Haiyan, Huentiang. Shows his deep dive into the history.
But amidst all this art and history talk, the Lama keeps coming back to his main point, doesn't he?
His philosophy.
That all faiths have their heathen butts, that even followers of the Buddha get caught in feud on feud.
Yes, for him, it's all ultimately Maya. Illusion.
And that's crucial.
It is,
Yeah.
because his pilgrimage isn't just like ticking off holy sites for good karma. His main desire, his whole search, is to break free from the wheel of things.
This cycle of suffering.
Right, to find this broad and open road out of it.
And that road is tied to a very specific, almost mystical quest.
Finding the river, the one from the legend, where the Lord shot an arrow as a youth looking for a mate, and a stream just gushed out.
Right, that story.
It is. And you get this really poignant moment where the curator, with all his books and catalogs, he just doesn't know where this mythical river is. He has no record of it.
And the Lama is just full of this hopeful pleading, asking, where then is the river?
Yeah, my dream told me to find it. It's such a beautiful contrast, worldly scholarship versus pure spiritual seeking.
Speaking of contrasts and connections,
Yeah.
there's that lovely exchange of gifts next.
Ah, yes. The Lama accepts the curator's practical gifts, the spectacles, pencils, notebook. He calls the glasses Bylor crystal and notes how clearly he can see, but how little he feels them, a sign of friendship between priests, he says.
And in return, he gives the curator his old iron pen case.
Describing it as something old even as I am, ancient Chinese design, iron not smelted anymore.
Which for a collector like the curator,
Is priceless, basically, an antique. And the Lama sees their shared appreciation, calls them craftsmen together, Dao and I. He even promises to bring back a drawing of the Wheel of Life. It shows respect for skill, whether it's spiritual art or, museum stuff.
Kim, meanwhile, he just takes it all in stride. Accepts the baby sat statue, this new god, without batting an eyelid.
Without emotion. Because he already knew a few score others.
That line tells you so much about his upbringing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So fluid. And you see that adaptability immediately when they hit the road. Their begging styles are totally different. Lama's used to the silent Tibetan way.
But Kim knows how things work in Lahore. He quotes that proverb,
Those who beg in silence starve in silence.
Right, and he's good at it. Quick, effective, kind of proud of his skill. Dances off, comes back with food.
Thus do we beg who know the way of it, he says.
That street smart's his key, but it's about to get tangled up with something else, isn't it?
Something much more secret. He goes to see Mahbub Ali.
And Kim tells Mahbub he's the Lama's disciple now, off on pilgrimage to Benares. He even kind of dismisses the Lama as quite mad, says he's just bored with Lahore, asks Mahbub for money.
So Mahbub Ali hears this, and he's instantly suspicious.
Well, yeah, he knows Kim, right?
Exactly. He's like, hold on, who are you really working for? Why come to me? He senses Kim's being used.
He smells a rat.
Totally. And he connects this whole Benares trip
to that earlier message, the horse thing.
That pedigree of that made-up horse lie that Kim took to Umballa, it clicks for him.
And this is our first proper glimpse into the great game, the whole espionage world.
It is. And Mahbub's warning is pretty chilling. Those who search bags with knives may presently search bellies with knives.
Oh, yeah.
A quick, brutal reminder of the danger Kim's unknowingly flirting with. Then they slip away like shadows, very cloak and dagger.
Then the train journey to Umballa. That scene gives us this amazing snapshot of Indian society.
Oh, it's a perfect microcosm, isn't it? You've got the fat Hindu moneylender.
The young Dogra soldier laughing at interest rates.
The Amritsar girl, the simple farmer who helps the Lama get on the train. Everyone just crammed together.
And you see these different worldviews just bumping up against each other. Like the soldier saying his people don't trouble our heads with doctrine, they just fight right next to the Lama's quiet holiness.
Then the Lama, bless him, he's so innocent. He thinks the train, the bull, is sent just for them. And he sees something otherworldly in Kim, thinks he's not of this world. Which is funny, given how worldly Kim actually is.
Yeah, the irony the other passengers notice too, right? Call them unusual beggars.
They do, but they're kind. That family makes sure the Lama gets the best food at the next stop. Shows that human connection underneath it all.
Right.
So they arrive at Umballa City Station, and the network Kim's tied into starts coming into focus. We see Mahbub Ali again.
Observing some bigwig, a colonel.
Yeah, and Mahbub identifies him just by these tiny mannerisms, rubbing his neck, sniffing, tapping his finger, super observant.
Kim translates the colonel's comment about military action, a chastisement, not a war.
And Mahbub instantly recognizes him, knows him from battlefields, tells you a lot about Mahbub's own background, probably military intelligence.
Kim also runs into a priest, a fakir, near the gate.
Who praises Kim's begging skills, calls him a master beggar, but also thinks the Lama's mad. Kim's just soaking it all up, learning the road from everyone.
He even defends the Lama to an old soldier, insists he's genuinely holy.
And that old soldier's life story, another huge contrast to the Lama.
19 pitched battles, 46 skirmishes, 9 wounds.
Medals, the Order of British India, a land granted Jagier from the state. Generals come to visit him, talk about old fights.
His idea of the afterlife is just waiting quietly for his sons. Completely different from the Lama's wheel of things.
Right. The Lama sees sons as just bound to the wheel, going from despair to despair.
And despite all his honors, the soldier's got very real earthly problems.
Yeah, gambling sons, money worries, people cheating him on his land. He gets angry, curses. It's a real picture of the complex life of worldly service.
There's that sweet moment, too, with the child.
Oh, yeah. The Lama sings a kid song he learned, and the soldier teases him like, that's not the way for someone despising the world.
And the Lama actually feels ashamed for making a child happy. It's odd.
It is. Well, the soldier just gives the kid a coin for sweets. Very practical.
We also get another glimpse of Mahbub's world when the soldier points out his son, writing expertly.
And Kim boasts to a policeman about his soda water label trick and protecting the Lama. Still confident, still working the system.
From Umballa, they hit the Grand Trunk Road. Kipling's description is incredible.
Oh, it's this teeming artery of India, isn't it? Crowds heading to fairs, women comparing bracelets, kids with toy trains, shared shrines for Hindus and Muslims, those earth carriers, the Changars, heading north for work, walking proud.
Then that wedding procession just bursts onto the scene. Music, smells of marigold and jasmine.
The bride's litter, the groom's pony. Kin just joins in the good wishes. 100 sons and no daughters.
Jugglers, monkeys, bears. Yeah. It's a total sensory overload.
A microcosm of the whole subcontinent's energy.
And it's on this road they meet the old lady, the Sahiba.
Ah, yes. And she doesn't mince words, does she?
Not at all. Sizes Kim up instantly.
Calls him a casteless Hindu, a bold and unblushing beggar. Says he's just latching on to the holy man for money, not a proper chela.
Kim has to adapt his tone pretty quickly there.
He does. But then the llama wakes up, calls Kim friend of all the world.
And the old lady picks up on that title too.
Yes. And the llama decides they should travel with her towards Saharanpur, since it fits his search.
And the old lady, she's got some strong opinions about the British.
Oh yeah, she's a hill woman of Dalhousie, prefers the old school administrators who know the land, not the new from Europe types suckled by white women.
Thinks they do harm to kings. Tells that story about the clueless young policeman hassling her relative.
It really shows how the game, or just British rule in general, is felt right down at ground level. People have views.
Soon after, Kim spots soldiers again. White soldiers setting up camp.
Right, an advance party. They hide and watch.
And the llama is just struck by it all. A great and terrible world, he calls it. Asks about the flag.
It's that stark contrast, again, the structured European military power versus the flow of the road and the spiritual quest.
This leads them to Father Victor and Bennett, and the talk turns to Kim's future.
His education. The llama's clearly worried about him, asks about the cost, where he can get wise and suitable teaching.
The options get laid out. Military orphanage, Masonic one.
But St. Xavier's in Lucknow is pushed as the best schooling.
And the llama uses his rosary like an abacus to figure out the fees.
He does. But Kim digs his heels in, doesn't he?
Yeah. He tells Mahbub Ali flat out, I don't want to be a sahib. Wants to go back to the llama, back to Benares. He even tries to run away from the orphanage later.
And his time at St. Xavier sounds awful. He hates the routine, the bugles, the teachers, the punishments.
Finds eating in public peculiarly revolting. Even thinks about poisoning the schoolmaster.
He feels physically trapped by the European clothes, the trousers and jacket.
And the cultural clash is brutal. The other boys mock him, beat him, call natives niggers.
And Kim despises them right back for their narrow view, thinking their mothers were bizarre women. Ouch.
Yeah, it really shows how hard it is to straddle those two worlds.
He meets Mahbub Ali again desperate, wants to ditch the sahib clothes, get money, get back to the llama. He reminds Mahbub, I delivered that message for you.
Mahbub's reaction is subtle, but telling. His horse jumps.
Shows his inner turmoil. He tries to brush off the message, says it was a small matter, forgotten.
But Kim sees through it, understands it's kind of betrayal, this feigned indifference. He draws his own conclusions about what Mahbub really does.
Then Kim meets Colonel Creighton, one of Mahbub's bosses.
Creighton confirms Kim delivered the message, and when he asks why the llama's name wasn't on the letter,
Kim gives this brilliant answer, straight out of the game playbook. Says it's inexpedient to write the names of strangers, because by the naming of names, many good plans are brought to confusion.
Creighton's impressed. Thou hast been well taught, he says. Gives Kim a rupee.
Tells him he has a good spirit, warns him not to let it get blunted at St. Xavier's, where the boys hate black men.
And Kim's sharp retort again. Their mothers were bizarre women. He doesn't back down.
Mahbub checks in with Kim about the school, and Kim reassures him the llama didn't betray him, didn't send him back to captivity. Mahbub looks at the llama's letter to Creighton, notes it looks like a business document, a note of hand or hundis, recognizable from his world.
Creighton, meanwhile, sees Kim as this resourceful, cool-headed kid. The escape attempt showed resource and nerve, even if it was cheeky.
He agrees Kim must have been the one writing from Umballa.
And Creighton, who has his own ambitions, wants an FRS title, links his spy work to ethnology.
Yeah, he discusses Kim's potential with Lurgan Sahib. Lurgan thinks Kim could be useful down south, handling unauthorized and incendiary correspondence.
Which turns out to be letters between some religious claimant and a young royal. Treason, basically.
Right, treason most base.
Yeah.
But Creighton pushes back, says it's a man's job, another agent is on it, plus Kim doesn't know Turkey.
Lurgan insists, though, Kim could get the letters just by the shape and the smell.
It shows these different approaches within the game. Anyway, Creighton decides Kim can go with the llama for a bit. He assigns Hurry Babu to keep an eye on them. Thinks Hurry is safer, maybe less likely to get Kim killed than Mahbub. Hints at some internal politics there.
So Creighton and Mahbub agree. Kim gets 6 months off from school.
To run at his choice, basically. And Mahbub and Lurgan will prepare him for the road, for the game. Lurgan sponsors him, promises Creighton he won't spill any secrets.
Kim gets the official word from St. Xavier's. Creighton found him a job as an assistant chain man in the canal department, linked to his math skills.
They call it great luck, but warn him it's hard work to get permanent, puka status, and the good salary.
The other Anglo-Indian kids gossip, accuse Creighton of favoritism, maybe even hint he's Kim's father.
But Kim doesn't react. He's already thinking beyond their small world.
And that preparation for the road really kicks off with Lurgan Sahib. Some weird tests.
Oh, yeah. Lurgan tests his observation, his resistance to suggestion, with that broken jar trick.
The jar seems to reappear whole.
Right. Kim feels this light touch, a tingling, like he's being held, but he knows the jar was smashed. He fights the illusion.
Then there's that unnerving kid, the gem expert.
The prodigy, who can count and spot flaws in gems incredibly fast, just by sight, then even by touch with his eyes closed.
Kim's amazed, sure, but he thinks the game is too little, too small compared to dealing with men with horses. It's a different kind of intelligence.
Lurgan then asks Kim about Mahbub Ali.
And Kim makes a smart guess. Mahbub's a writer of tales for a colonel with a code name.
Lurgan confirms the link to Creighton, calls it a custom among us. Another piece of the puzzle clicks for Kim.
Meanwhile, the llama tells that Jataka story. The elephant.
The fettered elephant, yeah. Burdened by this leg iron for years, but still stands over and protects a calf. Forgets his own pain to guide the young one.
It's a beautiful metaphor for his relationship with Kim, isn't it?
Absolutely. The llama's on his own tough quest, weighed down by age and his search, but he's totally dedicated to guiding and protecting Kim.
Kim meets Mahbub again, who's heading north for the game, gets more advice.
Later sees Hurry Babu at Hanifa's place. Hurry's talking about, Devils of Hund, Spencer, esoteric stuff, shows the weird intellectual side of the network.
And Hurry brings Kim his new disguise.
That heavy duffel stuff loaded with the sense of the far north, an exceptional outfit for missions. Kim's just glad to be out of the school clothes.
So they head into the mountains. The llama's impatient to get on with his search.
But Kim grounds him, reminds him about promising medicine to that farmer's kid.
The llama reflects on old age, the unstoppable wheel, calls the world great and terrible.
While Kim, ever practical, just yawns, says, "I think it could," and asks for food. That contrast again. Spiritual versus material.
To talk about the game being beyond protection.
Yeah. Hurry tells a story about trying to get a letter back, changing disguises, trying to slip the scent. Admits he wanted the credit of it all. Kim gets that feeling.
We learn a bit more about the llama's past, too. Wealth, a monastery funding him, rituals, politics, even seeing the Dalai Lama in Lhasa. He wasn't always just a simple pilgrim.
Adds depth, right? Shows the complex world he left behind.
They meet the old Sahiba again. She jokes with Kim, asks the Lama for a charm for her grandson.
And they see the Hakim, the dodgy doctor, again, boasting about his drugs being so strong they killed people. Kim actually believes him.
Then Hurry Babu pops up again, disguised as a doctor this time.
Explains how he tracked them, knew they were heading to Saharanpur, knew red llamas are not inconspicuous, asked around, found the old lady who likes medicines. He's very pleased with his very good doctor act.
The journey continues, higher up, meditating on the wheel, fewer temptations.
Simple mountain folk, often suffering from goiter. Hurry Babu, still the doctor, pays for things with ointments, shows off his knowledge of dialects, geography, routes into Tibet for those who loved mountains.
Evenings are quiet. Smoking, snuff, Kim watching the views. Feels almost peaceful.
Until the confrontation, they meet two strangers look like naturalists.
Kim recognizes the type from a book. The Lama offers to teach them doctrine. Hurry Babu is there too.
The strangers ask about the Lama's drawing, the Wheel of Life. Hurdy translates the Lama's refusal, its sacred work, for novices, not for just anyone, though he might draw another for a true seeker.
He values his art.
Exactly. And then it kicks off. Hurry calls the strangers highly unscrupulous. One of them hits the Lama.
It says he's defiling the written word, meaning the Lama drew his wheel over their map, their sacred game document.
Kim just explodes. Every unknown Irish devil in him wakes up. He attacks the Russian, sends him flying.
Chaos. The Lama's stunned. The coolies panic, seeing sacrilege, fearing divine wrath, crops failing, wives barren, landslides.
The Frenchman tries to grab the Lama but gets driven off by stones. A coolie drags the Lama away in the stampede. It's over in seconds.
The aftermath is fascinating. The coolies are angry at the guy who hit the Lama.
But they also kind of admire the Russian stance, and they decide to chuck the expensive equipment theodolite compass off a cliff.
Call it very wasteful, but justify it, because these guys hit a priest, they weren't proper sahibs, and they were scared.
Kim, though, he rescues the important stuff. The papers, maps, letters, calls it a fine haul. Especially that Marasla, the official letter from Hillis or Bunar, wraps it all in oilcloth.
He dumps the equipment, though. Thinks sahibs don't steal, and it would be evidence. Feels totally alone then.
The Lama's reflection afterwards is profound. He says the blow was evil, sure, but it met evil in me, anger, rage, and a lust to return evil. That inner conflict hurt him more.
He regained calm by repeating Buddhist beatitudes, but believes the evil planted must work itself out. The wheel is just, a lesson for Kim about inner demons.
After all that intensity, Kim gets sick. His stupid body is spent.
The old lady finds him helpless, says he gave his strength away. The Lama's weak too, just looking at Kim for help.
So the old lady takes over, foul drinks, keeps everyone away with an armed guard, hires a masseuse.
Her cousin's widow, yeah, who basically needs him into jelly.
Knocks him out, really, leads to that incredible sleep. 10,000 miles into slumber, 36 hours of it, soaking him like rain. Deep healing.
And when he wakes up, she's cooked this massive feast. Fowls, fish, quails, nurturing him back to life.
She shares her philosophy then about women who take strength and women who give it back. Says she's the giving kind now. Jokes he's got the bloom of a new curried horse.
Kim's so grateful, calls her mother.
She accepts it as a son's thanks, not a priest's blessing. Notes his own mother must have had her heart broken. Calls herself ill-omened for clinging to the young, but finds peace giving the Lama's charms to her grandson. Mentions the Hakim as low, poisoning servants now. Grim humor.
Then Hurry Babu turns up, excited.
Oh, totally gleeful. You swiped the whole bag of tricks, he says. 8 months' work gone up the specs. He shows Kim the key letter, the one from Hilas, the Raja, writing to the Tsar. Treason most base, he calls it.
Hurry explains the political fallout. The British will use this to change the succession in those states, appoint new rulers.
But he notes Kim doesn't really get the full political game yet. Kim gathers the intel, the adults play the strategy. That's key to his training.
Hurry also admits he's basically a coward who gets into dangerous spots. Was glad Kim and Mabu were nearby for backup. Complains the old lady was rude to him. Adds that human touch.
And it's right then, recovering, that Kim has that big identity crisis.
I am Kim, and with Kim.
Tears fall. Then, like a switch flipping, an almost audible click. He feels the wheels of his being lock up anew on the world without.
The world snaps back into focus, becomes real, solid, understandable. Roads were meant to be walked upon, clay of his clay. He shakes himself and walks out.
The old lady sees him go, lets him. Mother Earth must do the rest, she says. His healing's done, he's ready.
The Lama and Mahbub Ali arrive later. Mahbub sees the danger of Kim wandering alone, but notes they aren't right on the border, the real danger zone.
The Lama is just overflowing with praise for Kim, lists all his virtues. Never was such a chela. Temperate, kindly, wise, a merry heart, truthful, courteous. Great is his reward.
Mahbub gets it then, understands Kim's entering government service. It eases his mind, says the boy, sure of paradise, can yet enter government service.
Tells the Lama he doesn't want to hear Kim call him master anymore, though. Complex feelings there.
The Lama confirms Kim as his disciple. Mahbub acknowledges the Lama's holiness, how Kim joined him, advises the Lama to using well, let him return to the world as a teacher after his legs are bathed, that horse copper analogy for spiritual healing.
Mahbub leaves, calls the Lama Red Hat a very good man. Admits the Lama's holiness is stronger than his own knowledge, tells him to discipline Kim if needed, pull his ears off.
The Lama reflects on Mahbub's rough manners but good words about Kim, who now enters his reward. He prays.
Then he wakes Kim, with that huge announcement capping everything, it is found.
Wow. Just wow. What an incredible sweep of experiences packed into those pages we looked at. We've seen Kim move so seamlessly between, the Lama's spiritual quest and the very real, very dangerous world of the great game.
And how all these different characters, a holy man, a horse trader, a curator, that old hill woman, spies, they all see something in him. They all play a part in shaping his path, even when they're pulling him in different directions.
Exactly. He starts as this little friend of all the world, just using his wits to get by. But every single encounter, every lesson, every test, it's all subtly preparing him for something much bigger, something hidden just under the surface of British India.
Yeah, that profound contrast is really the heart of it, isn't it? The Lama searching for this mythical, spiritual river, and Kim accumulating worldly knowledge, languages, skills, literally collecting secrets and documents for the game.
And that final moment, after the violence, the sickness, that identity crisis, feeling the world click back into place at the old ladies, and then the Lama just says, it is found.
It really leaves you hanging, doesn't it? You have to wonder, what is Kim's reward supposed to be? Is it enlightenment? Success in the game? Maybe something else entirely.
And what exactly has the Lama found? Is it the actual river? Or maybe something deeper, inside himself? Or maybe even related to Kim?
A lot to mull over, for sure.
Definitely. We hope this deep dive into these parts of Kim has maybe shed light on some surprising corners of the novel for you.
And maybe sparked your curiosity to explore it more.